Do you understand Varshini Bensi? Humaira? So that is what will happen.
Sir.
If point of incident is one place and incident ray is some other place and understanding and refracted ray in some place, then we will never call this as a refraction, because by that time no refraction will take place. Nitish, do you understand, Nitish? So that loss of refraction of light, if it comes to there, that is also the same thing. Means the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal at the point of incident all must lie in the same plane. All of you should write. That is the first point. That is the first law of refraction of light. You can write. According to the first law of refraction of light, all of you must write. According to the first law of refraction of light, according to the first law of refraction of light, according to the first law of refraction of light, you must write that first. According to the first law of refraction of light, incident ray, refracted ray, and point of incident, at normal, sorry, and normal, this like this one, properly arranged, and normal at point of incidence, at point of incidence, all lie in the same plane. At point of incidence, all lie in the same plane. Do you understand, all of you? So this is the first law of refraction of light. I hope you understand very well. Is there any doubt, anybody? You ask me. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Second law will be very important. That is what I am saying. So if anybody having any doubt, you can ask me. So this is properly your incident ray, refracted ray, and normal at point of incidence. At point of incidence, all lie in the same plane. So this is what we should call as first law of refraction of light. I hope you understand. So now let us go for the second law. Shall we go for second law? You have to draw this diagram also. You have to draw this diagram. Understand? So normal. This is not new diagram. This is we are drawing so many times. Same diagram you draw again. Understand? So now let us go for the second law, second refraction of light. What is second reflection of light? Can you able to say? Second reflection of light. Reflection of light. Angle of incidence.
Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection.
Is it yes or no? This is for
Yes.
reflection. Others also, communication is must. This is for law of reflection, second law of reflection. If it comes to the second law of refraction, understand, the second law of refraction gives a relationship between the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. What? It will give the relationship between it. That is what you should understanding. It will say that it will give second law. All of you should remember, this is what? Second law of refraction of light. Refraction of light. This is only the most important for the next concept called as refractive index. All of you should remember. So it will give the relationship between what? Relationship between angle of incidence. All of you should write it. Angle of incidence and
Angle of refraction.
Refraction. Arya, Dilipan, everybody. Angle of refraction. So what is that relation? Let us discuss now. What is this relation means? Remember, understand, and main thing before the relation, it was discovered by Snell's experimentally. Who has done this? A scientist called as understand.
Snell.
Discovered. It is discovered by. It was discovered by Snell. What's his name? Snell. Experimentally mentally. So also we can call this law, second law of refraction of light. So also we can call it as what? Also we can call
Snell's law.
Snell's law of refraction. Also we can call, so also we can call also we can call Snell's law, S-N-E-L-L-S, Snell's law of refraction of light. All of you should remember. So second law of refraction of light or Snell's law of refraction of light, both are same. Do you understand, all of you? This is what
Yes,
most
sir.
important. Snell's law of refraction of light. Everybody should remember. So what he has found, you observe carefully. So Snell's law of refraction of will says that, or else the second law of refraction of will says that, according to the Snell's law of refraction of light, the ratio of a sine of angle of incident to the sine of angle of refraction is always constant for a given pair of media. That is what we should call as Snell's law of refraction of light or second law of refraction of light. Means sine of angle of incident. Means in the sense of, you may notice that class 9th you have studied trigonometry. Do you remember trigonometry? Do you remember trigonometry?
Yes, sir.
Sine
Yes,
function,
sir.
cos function, cosec function, sec function, tan and cot. Have you remembered? So this is called as trigonometric functions. Understand? So we don't have any use with that. So Snell's law of reflection of sine will says that, understanding, always the ratio of, according to the Snell's law of refraction of light, the ratio of, remember, the ratio of, understanding, sine of angle of incidence, sine of angle of incidence, and sine of angle of refraction, angle of refraction is constant. Is what? Is
Constant.
constant means some number will come. That is what we used to call it as Snell's law of refraction of light.
Refractive index.
For what? Constant. For what? For a given pair of, understanding, given pair of media. It is not for all the mediums. Understand? For example, if you take, understand, constant for given pair of media. That is what most important. For a given pair of media. For example, you tell me. For example, any example, anybody? Means what?
Sir, can you show up?
Sine is a trigonometric function. Nothing is there. It is one of the trigonometric function. Nothing. Understanding? SIN sine, but while writing in a statement, we'll write SINE. Understand, Ashika? Nothing is there. Sine is a trigonometric function. I will give you that values also. We'll solve it. So that
Can you
is
show up?
okay. So now, suppose for example, pair of media. Can you able to say pair of media example? Let us take now water and, understanding, air and water. Air and water. So for this, if we'll take the angle of refraction of sine of angle of incident ray divided by sine of angle of refraction, which is equals to constant always. That is what we'll say the Snell's law. Or else if we'll take air and glass. For this incident ray and the refracted ray, some other value is present. That value is constant always for this pair of media. So that is what the second law of refraction or Snell's law. Do you understand, Amma? How many of you
Yes.
understand this? Yes or no? Like this, if you take different medium, suppose if you take air and diamond, then it is having some other thing. If you take air and diamond, then it is having some other constant value. So that is always depends on its what? Incident ray and the refracted ray. So that is always constant for a given pair of media. That is what you should understand. Now the same thing you should write in a form of formula. It is ratio. Ratio means what? Ratio means what it will should come. Arvind, what it will come? Ratio I'm asking. Ratio means what it is actually? Division. Is it yes or no, right?
Yes, sir.
So division
Yes, sir.
means you can write in the form of formula. Sine of angle of incidence divided by sine of angle of refraction. Understanding? Second law of refraction will says that, understanding, sine of angle of incidence. All of you should write angle of incidence. Padmavarshini, do you understand Padmavarshini, Prahasini? Varshini,
Yes, sir.
So sine of
Angle of refraction.
angle of refraction. Angle of refraction, which is equals to what? Which is equals to constant.
Constant.
Which is equals to constant.
The paragraph.
Yeah, this is
Sir,
only.
can you explain the second law with some values, sir?
So wait. So sin I, angle of incident, I can write sin I divided by angle of refraction, sin R, which is equals to constant. What we should call? Constant.
Constant.
We should write. So this is what the formula, which we also called as Snell's law.
Sir, without knowing sign, how can we write, sir?
Sign value I will say you. It will give in exam.
Okay.
Exam they will give you
Okay,
sign
sir.
value. If the question will come, exam they will give you sign. Okay. Understand? Sin A by
Yes.
sin R is equals to constant. So somebody is asking definition.
The sign value will be same for everything.
Yeah, exam they will give you. Understand? It is not same. It will varies for suppose sin 45 it will varies. Sin 90 it will vary. Sin 60 it will vary. Sin 35 it will varies. Sin 120 it will varies. That is depends on the values. That is trigonometric values which we will study in the class 10th trigonometric chapter. You will never get. For class 10th board exam level, you will never get any kind of sign related question. Just you will study sin I by sin R. But if you want to crack the NTS and all, at least we should know 1 or 2 questions related to that. But this, when they are asking in NTS and all, they will give you the sin I and sin R value, so that you can easily substitute it and you can just find the value. That's all. Do you understand, Amma? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Write the definition. According to the Snell's law of refraction of light, second law, according to the Snell's law of refraction of light, according to the Snell's law of refraction of light, Snell's law of refraction of light, the ratio of, which I have written here, same thing, the ratio of sine of incident, sine of angle of incident, sine of the ratio of sine of angle of incidence, sine of angle of incidence, sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction, to the sine of angle of refraction, to the sine of angle of refraction, refraction is constant, but if you stop the definition here, it is wrong, because we have to write at last what? At last what we should write, Kevin? Pranav. Refraction is constant for a given pair of media. That is what. Without that, it is understanding. It is not constant for all the pair of media. That is why you should write it is constant for a given pair of media. Do you understand, all of you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
After angle of reflection also.
Angle of refraction is constant. It is there here, man. Screen you see here, it is there. Sine of angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media. Do you understand, Ra? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So that is.
For every pair of media, it won't be same.
Yeah, it won't be same. That is what. Here, example you takes here. Air and water, it is having some different value. Air and glass, some other different. Air and diamond, some other thing. If you want, you can take, suppose, water and glass, it is different. Water and glass, if you take, some other thing. Do you understanding, Ashika? It is some
Yes,
other.
sir.
So that is what. It will vary. It is constant for the given particular medium, particular pair of medium. So this is what the formula. Sine of angle of incident divided by sine of angle of refraction, which is equals to constant. Do you understand, all of you? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you may observe here this constant, which I am observing here. This constant is only known as, I am using a name called as, this constant we used to call as, you may observe already I have taught you in school class also. This constant is only known as, what we should call? Is known as
Refractive index.
refractive index. All of you should remember. We should call it as refractive
Refractive.
index. Do you understand, Amma? Yes or no? Refractive
Yes.
index. So what is this refractive index means? Remember, understand the value of constant of sin I by sin R for a ray of light which is passing from air into particular medium, not Any other pair of medium. Remember, always if you want to find the refractive index of absolute refractive index, we can say absolute refractive index. Also, we can call it as what? Absolute, SOL, understanding, absolute refractive index, always remember. So absolute refractive index, always find the understanding between the pair of medium of air and some other medium, air and some other medium. Do you understand, Ra? Always we will find the refractive index of any medium with comparing with what? Air alone. Are you understanding? Air, or you can keep instead of air, we can keep what? Vacuum. What we should keep? What we should keep? Vacuum.
Vacuum.
Understanding? Because in air and vacuum, light is having a maximum speed. That is what already we have studied from lower classes. That is what? 3 into 10 power? 3 into 10 power? 5. 3 into 10 power
8.
Understand?
3 into 10 power 8.
So 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So this is what the speed of light in maximum in air or vacuum. So that if you want to find the refractive index of any medium, that is only ways to called as absolute refractive index. Understanding? Absolute refractive index of any medium, only we will compare with what? Speed of light in air divided by speed of light in any other medium will give you the absolute refractive index. Suppose, sir, then what about normal? You may call it, understanding, refractive index of understanding water with respect to understanding with respect to glass, then it is not absolute refractive index. Do you understanding? Here water and glass are mediums, then it is not understanding, it is not absolute, it is not absolute refractive index. Do you understand, all of you? It is not absolute refractive index. Suppose if you find the refractive index of water with air, then that is called as what? Air and water, then it is called as absolute refractive index. I hope you understanding. Do you understanding or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So always
Yes, sir.
finding the refractive index of any medium, we have to compare with what? We have to compare with the air only.
Air and other medium.
Understanding. Refractive index also we can call it as absolute refractive index. So the value of a constant sin I by sin R for a ray of light passing from air into a particular medium is called the absolute refractive index of that medium or refractive index of that medium. All of you should write. Now I can write this formula. This formula, whatever I have studied, sin A by sin R, which is equals to constant. So constant means what? Constant is equals to what? Refractive index. Is it yes or no? Yes or no? So that, can I write here, instead of constant, can I write refractive index? Can I write refractive index?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, refractive index is equals to sin I by, understanding, sin I by sin R. All of you should remember. This is only called as refractive index formula according to the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Remember, refraction index formula is not constant. Understanding? It is not constant. We have a different kind of formulas. This is according to what? This is only according to this formula. Understanding? Note it down. This formula, nobody will say this much clearly. This formula is according to what? According to what? Incident, angle of incidence and angle of refraction. According to angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Have you noted down? Next, according to the speed, it will change. According to the density, optically rarer and denser, again it will change. Do you understand, Amma? So depend upon the speed and density and the angle of incident, everything the formula will change. But every time meaning is same. Meaning does not change. Only the formula will change. Do you understand? Suppose if you take according to the speed, if you take refractive index is equals to understanding according to the speed, if you take particular medium, understanding speed of light in air, speed of light in air, or also we can take what? Instead of air, also we can take what?
Vacuum.
Vacuum.
So I can write speed of light in medium. Medium means it may be a glass, it may be a water, some other thing. So this is according to the speed. This is what? According to
According to speed.
understanding. So like that, this is according to speed. So like this, the formula will change. It is not constant. But as we know that refractive index means it is a constant. So from this, can anybody say, is it refractive index is having any units? Is it refractive index is having any units? Refractive index.
No, sir.
Small shortcut. Ri is a unitless quantity. What is that?
No, sir. No unit, sir.
Unitless quantity. Understand? That is what you should remember. Means in the sense of it does not have units, so I can write no units. Do you understand, all of you? How many of
Yes,
you
sir.
understand this? Prahasini, Akshaya, Anusri, anybody, if you have doubt, you can ask me. So refractive index does not have any units. So what is this refractive index? You should write the definition, right? The value of all of you should write the definition. The value of the constant, the value of the constant sin I divided by sin R, the value of the constant sin I divided by sin R for a ray of light, for a ray of light passing from where to where, Pranav? Passing from Dilipan, passing from which medium I said? Constant always.
Other medium. Where are vacuum to some other
Understanding.
medium.
Passing from air into a particular medium, air into a particular medium is called, what we should call? Is called refractive.
Refractive index.
All of you should note it. Arvind, are you understanding, Nitinath? Refractive index,
Yes, sir.
we can call it as absolute refractive index. Absolute refractive index. Understanding? Whenever I am using a word called as absolute refractive index, understanding? In exam also they will ask you to find the refractive index of, suppose they are giving you the question, find the refractive index of water with respect to glass. But by that time you should not use a word called as absolute. So you have to find the refractive index of water with respect to glass. But suppose in exam they are asking you, suppose I will give you the speed of light in diamond is some x, understand? And I will ask you to find the absolute refractive index. So by that time I have not given any other information. What you people will do? Speak. What you people will do by that time?
Sir, 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by 2.32.
So when they are giving, suppose sir, they have not given any information. They are saying that only the speed of light in diamond is this is, the speed of light in water is this is. Then what you will do? Suppose, let us see that we will solve it. I will say it with an example. Suppose imagine in exam they will give you numerical understanding. Example you see. So by the time they will give you, suppose like the speed of light in given. Speed of light in glass is 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So find absolute refractive index, not refractive index. They may ask you refractive index also. By the time also you have to compare it with the speed of light in air, or else absolute refractive index. Find absolute refractive index. So here there is no second medium. Is it yes or no? They have not discussed about any second medium. Is it yes or no? Only they are giving the speed of light in glass. That's all. So by the time you should imagine that absolute refractive index always, if they have not mentioned or mentioned, doesn't matter. Air is not mentioned or not, doesn't matter. We have to find refractive index of glass. Understanding? Refractive index of glass is equals to speed of light in air. Means in the sense of which we used to represent with a C divided by speed of light in glass. This is what? This is indicating speed of light in, all of you should remember, speed of light in air or vacuum we can call. Prahasini, do you understanding? That value is always constant, which is equals to how much? 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Is it yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? So that is what. So what you have to do, now you have to substitute that values. So in question they have given that speed of light in air, which is equals to 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second divided by 2 into 10 power 8 meter per second. So meter per second will get cancelled. 10 power 8, 10 power 8 will get cancelled. So refractive index of glass with respect to air, which is equals to how much, Ra? Which is equals to 1.5.
1.5.
Right.
1.5.
Refractive index of glass, which is equals to 1.5. And remember the symbol of refractive index, symbol for refractive index Ri, which is we used to represent with the understanding. Basically, if you write with the n is also correct, or you can write nu like this, little bit extended. Both are correct. Note it down, all of you. So the refractive index is denoted by the symbol n, or you can write this is. So from this I can write, understand, refractive index of glass, which is equals to 1.5. That is what you can write. Do you understand, all of you? Yes or no? Understand, Amma? So according to the symbol, also I can write refractive index of n is equals to sin I by sin r. Sin I by sin r. Or you can write like this, n also correct only. Sin I by sin r. Do you understand, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Or else some books, particularly some books, refractive index they used to represent with a mu. They represent with what? Mu. That case also sin I by sin r. This is also should remember. Mu like this. You will write, is it correct? You will write u correct. If you will extend them in a downwards like this, then that is the symbol of refractive index. All are correct. All should remember. I hope you understand very well. Is there any doubt? Anybody you can ask me. Any doubt? Tell me,
No, sir.
suppose let us find.
No doubt.
Yeah. The refractive index of understanding. Write the question. Suppose, write the question, last question for today's class. Suppose the refractive index of, suppose the angle of incident for a ray of light is, the angle of incident, example, all of you should write. One more numerical. According to the sign, I will say numerical, right? Suppose the angle of incidence for a ray of light in air is, the angle of incidence for suppose particular medium in air is 37 degrees, and the angle of refraction in glass, in the angle of refraction in air it is. Angle of incident in air 37 degree, and the angle of refraction in glass, which is equals to, all of you should write, it will be more than 37 or less than 37. Anybody? Any idea? Fastly. More than or less than? Definitely. Angle.
Less than.
So let us take the value is 24 degrees. This is angle of incident and angle of refraction. So means the sense of incident rays, light is entering from where to where? Air to glass. Means denser to rarer to denser. Denser to rarer or rarer to denser?
Rarer to denser.
Refraction will decreases. That is what you should remember. So this is 37 degrees and this is what? 24 degrees. Is it yes or no? So now this is what they have given. So they're asking us to find the refractive index of glass. Find the refractive index of, understanding, index of glass. But you may observe, in exam they will give you the values also. So if you want to find the refractive index, we know the formula. What is that? Can you able to say? Refractive index n is equals to sin I by sin r. Understanding. That is what you should remember. So now you can write it as, understanding, I can write sin I. Sin I means how much, Ra? 30. Sin I means how much? 37 degrees. Understanding. So sin I 37 degrees divided by sin 24 degrees. Now I will give the values also. Values you can write it. All of you write in bracket. Understanding, given sin 37 degree which is equals to something and sin 24 degrees which is equals to something. I will say the values, note it down. Sin 37 is equals to 0.60. Sin 37 how much, Ra? 0.60. 0.60. That is the sine
0.60.
37 value. Same way, sine 24 value is 0.40. 0.40. So now substitute these values and find the refractive index of glass, please, fastly. Refractive index of
Sir,
glass.
this will be given in questions, the value of sine.
If they will give you angle of incident and angle of refraction, definitely will give you. But this class only, if you go to higher classes, they won't give you, because you should find the sign that values. Okay, Amma? You will learn in trigonometry how to find it and all. By the time you have to find it. Okay, Amma? Understand? For your level, class 10th level, they will give you. Don't worry. Okay. So that is what?
Sir, 1.5.
Refractive index of glass. How much?
1.5.
1.5, sir.
1.5, sir.
By this time, if you are really
1.5.
concept, you may understanding. Refractive index of glass with respect to angle of incident and angle of refraction, which is equals to how much, Ra? 1.5. Is it yes or no? Yes or no?
Sir.
Same way,
Yes, sir.
the speed of light, how much we have found? Here you see, this is not the angle of incident and angle of refraction. This is according to the speed of light, which is also equals to how much? Which is also equals to how much? 1.5. Do you understanding? This is what we used to call as absolute refractive index. So absolute refractive index of particular medium will never change if we'll take according to the speed of light or according to the angle of incidence and angle of refraction. I hope you understand. Jesse, do you understand, Jesse? That is what you should remember. So you can see, we are calculating the refractive index of glass according to the speed of light here, and the same glass we are calculating according to the angle of incident and angle of refraction. Both the cases it came same. Is it yes or no? Nitinath Vairam, sir, is for finding sign we need to take root. No, Nitinath, it will be some other way. You will study in actually 10th trigonometry chapter and as well as +1. So now you don't need to worry. They will give you the values in exam. Don't worry. Understand, Nitinath? Understand? So this is what I hope you understand very well.
Yes,
Is it
sir.
anybody? Please ask me. Do you understand, Amma? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Ashika?
Yes, sir.
So that's all. So with this, I will stop the today's class. Thank you. We will meet in tomorrow. Is it okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Yeah, just wait a minute, Ray.